Hey everyone, before we get started on today's video, if you didn't use a referral code when you signed up to drive for Uber, it is not too late to get a bonus of up to $1,000. You can use my code right now and you could get that bonus. It depends on when you signed up. It could be $500, could be $800, it literally could be $1,200. But you could literally just get that money right in your account just because you did give the rides then, but you didn't use a referral code. So real quick, here's how you do it. First, open your Uber driver app. Next, click the photo or the 3 lines in the corner. Click earnings, then click help or question mark. Click account and payment, then referrals. Now this is the most important step. Make sure you don't mess this one up. Click invited driver, report my missing or incorrect referral. Then click send a message, type in my invite code. It's G4QA5UE. Guess who your friend's name is? Mr. Gregory Wave. That's right, your homie for life. Phone number 815-847-0184. And the email is gregwave@yahoo.com. In the details, just say my good pal Greg referred me to drive for Uber or something like that, and they'll take care of you. So check it out, guys. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Rideshare Hub. My name's Greg. Hope you guys are all doing good, staying safe, making money, feeding your families, not getting sick. You know, the same old that we deal with nowadays. So today I've got an awesome, very interesting video. Uber has been in a long-standing lawsuit with London, and they won. So we are going to dive into that and hear about this case and what that means for Uber. Before we get going, I do want to remind you guys, please check out Cover, the link in the description. For those of you that don't know, you get a free month on us. That should be incentive enough to try it out. It's free, but beyond that, it is the best service to ever accompany Uber and Lyft. It is made for rideshare drivers. So check that out, guys. It's literally the best ever. And let's move on. Uber won a long-running legal battle on Monday that will allow it to continue operating in London. A major victory for the ride-hailing app that has repeatedly clashed with the city's transport authorities and its traditional black cab drivers. So, one thing that Uber's gotten critiqued for a lot over the years is that they burst into the Europe market way too late. They gave a lot of other businesses chances to create their own ride-hailing platform, ride-sharing platform, whatever. So that, and basically what happened is there's a lot of markets that Uber should have taken and they didn't get because they didn't move fast enough on expanding in Europe. And they get a lot of critique for that because that European market could have made them a crazy amount of money, and maybe they wouldn't be in the substantial crisis they've been in over the last few years financially if they would have expanded in that European market. Obviously, that's a lot of speculation, but the reason why this is such a big win for them is because they needed to hang on to this London market. If they don't have enough markets in Europe, they really needed to keep London. All right, a judge on Monday said that Uber has overcome historical fallings and was now a fit and proper operator in what is one of its biggest markets out of the US. He granted Uber an 18-month license with conditions. Uber responded to the ruling saying that they were pleased, and as always, safety is our priority as we work together to keep London moving. I bet, Uber, I bet. Last November, London's transport authorities said that they would not renew Uber's license to operate in the British capital after thousands of trips were made with someone other than their booked driver. One of the biggest concerns was that unauthorized drivers could upload their photographs to an unauthorized driver's account, allowing them to pick up passengers. London authorities had estimated that at least 14,000 journeys were made this way. So this goes back into their horrible background check process. God. All right, let's move on before I get all heated up about it. It was the second time in 2 years that London's transport authorities rejected Uber's license to operate in the British capital. Uber appealed both decisions and was allowed to continue to operate until a final decision was made. The latest case was heard God, dyslexia, at the Westminster Magistrates Court earlier this month. In his written verdict, Judge Tanwir Ikram wrote, "Despite their historical failings, can't talk, I find them now to be a fit and proper person to hold a London PHV, private hire vehicle operator's license. Uber," he said, "does not have a perfect record, but it has been an improving picture." He said that he was satisfied that they are doing what a reasonable business in their sector could be expected to do, perhaps even more. London Mayor Sadiq Khan, who chairs Transport for London, warned that Uber will continue to face close scrutiny. "I can assure Londoners that TfL, Transport for London, will continue to closely monitor Uber and will not hesitate to take swift action should they fail to meet the strict standards required to protect passengers," he said. Uber has demonstrated time and time again that it simply can't be trusted to put the safety of London... skipped a line. The Licensed Taxi Drivers Association, a trade body for London's black cab industry, called Monday's ruling appalling. Oh man, London's still in those days where the cabs are fighting hardcore. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that any cab system is safer than Uber. It seems like it would be just as sketchy. But man, it's bad if the Taxi Drivers Association is calling it appalling. Uber has demonstrated time and time again that it simply can't be trusted to put the safety of Londoners first. Its drivers and other road users always profit, the group's statement said. Sadly, it seems that Uber is too big to regulate effectively, but too big to fail. I've been saying that for years. London is one of Uber's largest European markets. The company has around 45,000 drivers cruising its street. In a separate legal battle, Uber is appealing an employment tribunal ruling that found its drivers can be classified as workers and are entitled to workers' rights, including minimum wage and vacation pay. Uber says its drivers are self-employed independent contractors. Britain's Supreme Court heard the case in July and is set to make a decision about it later this year. So even in Europe, they're going through the same issues Uber's going through here. It's kind of wild. Like even beyond just this issue of the over 14,000 cases of wrongful drivers, giving rides. They're also dealing with that whole fiasco of are they employer or not. So basically, it's probably going to go the same way. They're going to claim they're a technology platform and their drivers are not essential for conducting business, which is absurd. And it'll probably go the same exact way it's been going in California. Uber is essentially going to write up a, what do they called it? So AB5 was the law in California, and Prop 20, I think, was Uber's proposition for how to deal with it. So they're probably going to have a similar thing, a new Prop 20 in Europe. It's going to be complete BS like the one here. It's not going to help the driver like the one here. It's going to be a whole thing, and we're going to watch it knowing literally exactly how it's going to play out because we saw how it played out here. Well, we're not technically through it, but we're like nearly through it. But yeah, so other than that, that's like I was saying earlier, a big move for Uber though, because they really need that London market, especially because if things go south in California and Uber loses their ability to operate in California, they're facing tough times. So if they lost California, if they lost London, which is a massive market, I'm sure, and then whatever other states or provinces follow, like they could be really looking at some dangerous times. So this London win is a big step. Now, obviously, they've got 18 months to prove that they can do it decent. Like the one dude said, they're going to be under tight scrutiny. They still got to play their cards perfectly, which I will say, if there's anything that I like from, these results from Uber and whatever else happens in California and all the other lawsuits they face, there's like a new one every day. Even the ones they win, it's like at least they're forced to be somewhat more accountable. Like in this case, London's going to be watching them a lot closer to be like, hey, you guys can't just keep screwing up and thinking you're too big to fall and doing whatever you want. You know, I mean, that's always been the biggest thing with Uber. Dude just did a burnout in this parking lot. Sorry about that. But that's always been the biggest thing, is they've always felt like they were too big to fall. We're just like monsters. We can do what we want. I don't know how many of you guys remember the whole thing with Apple where like Apple's CEO, I can't remember how this went, but like threatened to take Uber off the App Store because that was back during the lawsuit where they were actually like monitoring where everybody was going so that they said they could have drivers in the right area at the right time for these people. So they were like tracking at what times people went to work, what times they went to the grocery store, and they were making like a big old chart to have the most active times to like direct drivers towards. So when Apple had found out about that, obviously Uber was getting sued, and they were like, hey, we're going to take you off the App Store if you don't stop doing this because you're breaking clear guidelines for having an app in our store. Like, you can't do that. And the Uber CEO, I don't think it was Dara at the time. No, it definitely wasn't. It was somebody different. And he was basically just like, try me. Like, you're not going to take me down, you know? So they've always had this like smug thing of like, oh, we're giants, you know, we've exploded, we're one of the fastest growing apps ever, blah, 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 blah. And so they felt like they're invincible. So I like that in this case, it's like at least they're being forced to be held accountable. Like, you guys aren't just going to get away with everything you want. But yeah, so that's the update on the London market. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Definitely check out Cover, link in the description, and I will talk to you guys soon.